Narrators.
Driver with a promising career dominate off-road racing on his way to the top.
And I said, kiss your baby goodbye. No, it's alright. Hell no, they wanna break you apart. Yes. Kiss your baby goodbye. No, it's alright. No, unless you get it right. Oh, yeah.
Our champion swerves around it brilliantly. Now that's the skill that wins no matter what the engine, no matter what the track. He's this season's undisputed motorsports champion, coming out of nowhere to rise to the top.
Street racing's got history. It didn't start with us. Some say it began in the 20s with bootleggers. They needed to outrun revenuers, so they tricked out their cars in order to make a clean getaway. Those souped-up roadsters and stock cars, you can draw a line from them to the street machines you see today, and from those drivers to us. People think we're dangerous, that we're criminals because we run in the streets. Well, that ain't true. We're about more than that. We love what we do, and we want to take it to the next level, to go legit. Change isn't easy, but sometimes it's needed. The trick? Getting everyone on board with that. It's about the future, see? Just a question of which one we're headed for. I tell you, there's nothing like what we do. Showing off what all those hours of work turned into, letting the world see that perfect paint, popping the hood to show off what you built part by part with your own hands. But then you slide behind that wheel. You hear that monster growl. You turn it loose on the quarter mile. You gotta live it to feel it. You gotta understand, the competition stays on the strip. Once the race is over, we're all on the same side, and we're all looking out for one another. One of us has a problem, people help out. Winners, losers, we're all in this together, and we know it. Just because we got each other's backs don't mean we don't try to outdo one another. We take pride in our rides, the way they look and the way they run. You see, it's not about breaking the law. I mean, sure, there's a thrill to running outside the lines, but what we're about is something else, something bigger. Now, a lot of us want to take this off the streets and go legit. Safer for everyone, and we can run that much harder, but not everyone wants to step away from our roots. They talk about what it takes to run out there, the high that comes from risking everything. They say the streets are where we came from, where we belong. It can be hard to argue with that. This is who we are. This is what we do. Showing off our rides, trying to make it pay, trying to keep it real. Walking the line between wanting to go legit or keep it on the streets. It's a hard call to make when the world's trying to make you choose. But either way, we're still about the racing. All of us, no matter what. In the end, it's the speed that matters.
Everyone's got a moment where they realize why they're racing. And for me, it was the day my bike went one way and I went the other, and I broke 2 ribs. I picked my bike up, climbed back on, and kept running. Won that race, too. Wouldn't let myself lose no matter what. The details, just the things you tell stories about later. Winning matters, but you know what else does? Owning the track. Deep woods, heart of the city, it doesn't matter. If there's a path, we'll find it. If there's no road, we'll make our own. I'll tell you straight up, if you want to follow someone else's path, this isn't the place for you. Nobody ought to be in this to get famous. There's no TV cameras where we do our best work. Mother Nature sees what we're doing, and that's enough. I don't need to be a rock star to feel good about what I'm doing. You want stars? Come with me on a night drive in the desert, and I'll show you the biggest night sky you've ever seen. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I remember a couple years back, up in the Cascades, I hit a patch of scree and got totally turned around. We found this perfect little lake. It felt like no one had ever been there before. We race there now. It's the best thing in the world, cutting a trail like that. That's its own kind of magic. When you leave the road behind, you never know what you'll find. The thing is, you really want to understand this country, you've got to get down and dirty with it. Get on a first-name basis with Mother Nature. Ride cross-country like I did when I turned 17. You'll see, there's so much more to this place than just the cities. More than tourist traps built on parking lots. And you've got to come out here and see it all for yourself. North to south and sea to shining sea. See, it's not about money. And like I told you, it sure as hell isn't about getting your name out there. It's about being lucky enough that we get to do this every day. I mean, if you told me I could make a living at this, I'd have said you were crazy. But here we are. Maybe we're not making as much cash as some, but take a look around. Here, there's all kinds of ways to be rich. In the end, it's about what riding this way means. It's about the challenges we take on and what that says about us. You understand? It's about who we are and what we're made of. And it's about testing ourselves against the biggest and baddest things nature can throw at us. Because there's no point to taking the easy way, is there?
Best way to explain what we do is this. Our pilots are crazy good, but sometimes they act like a bunch of snot-nosed brats. The kind of people who throw a party in a seminary.
While Grumpy here is giving you his version, let me give you mine. We can do things you've never seen before because we're having fun. Give us a plane, we'll show you something fantastic.
We're all about DIY. What you want to do doesn't exist. Invent it. Then tune it, test it. And when no one is looking, bam, turn it loose.
Yeah, we need to keep the crowds and the pilots entertained. We always need to find the twist, the thing to make it last. To say to everyone, stay tuned, wait till you see what's next. Thing is, when you play the sort of games we do, all day, every day, people might think you're just a little immature.
Darling, if you don't mind my saying so, they ain't entirely wrong.
Yeah, okay, but even if I don't take myself seriously, I do things seriously. I can outfly you and outdrive you any day of the week, and then stealth prank you on the weekend.
Stealth prank? Really? That's not even a word. See what I have to put up with? But they're missing the point. We've got the big toys. Why not make a big noise? Let me give it to you straight. We cook up something new, we try it, we fail, we try again till we get it right. Want a car to be more than a car? jack it up and see what you get. Same with a plane or a boat.
Isn't that how jet sprint got started in the US? Two guys had a few too many and decided they wanted to race boats in a parking lot. So they grabbed a shovel.
If you can find your way around a toolbox, you'll be fine. Also, hope you like taking chances. Our people, they need thrills like normal folks need oxygen. That's how wild they get out there. We're talking pure, uncut adrenaline junkies.
Of course, that's who we are. Why do something that's been done before? So safe, so boring, so... No, thank you. I'd rather push it to the limit. It's so much cooler when you pull it off.
You know those guys who think every competition has to be a fight to the death? Well, we do things a little different.
We do it right. We compete to push each other to be better than we are. In the end, I don't want to be better than you. I want to be the best. We all do. Always cheer for the winner and always try to be the person people cheer for. We've survived so far without compromising who we are, and we intend to keep it that way.
We don't want to toe the line. We want to show the world something special, something joyful.
And maybe a few explosions.
Explosions? Really? Treat the whole darn country like a playground, why don't you?
You know what? We do, and we will.
No risk, no reward. I guess that's one way of looking at it. You've got to evolve to stay relevant. If that means trying new venues, from downtown to 10 miles east of the middle of nowhere, then maybe that's what we got to do. But I know it's a gamble. It won't do us any good to win new fans if we lose the old ones. Finding a balance, that's the tricky part. History is a constant process of transformation, but as we move forward, we can't ever forget where we came from. There's so much history for us to be proud of. So many great races, great drivers. That heritage makes us who we are today, and it'll inform who we'll be tomorrow, no matter what shifts. I understand taking instruction can be hard, especially when you've got a perfect ride and the open road ahead of you. But there's a method to this. Out here, you need more than talent. You need work. Perfection requires practice, and anything less than perfection won't be good enough. There are no shortcuts here, and nobody gets to the top on their own. Not me, not even you. The new blood needs the old wisdom, and the veterans need to pass on what they know. Now, if you ever call me old, I'll have you run practice laps forever. Now, nobody's gonna hold the door open for you just because you're a pro. They're more likely to shut it in your face. There are drivers out there who will do anything to win. But if the voice in your ear says cutting corners is okay, tune it out and listen to me instead. Act like a professional. Have higher standards. Respect yourself, respect the sport, and you'll get my respect too. For me, there's no such thing as just a race. You always want to be giving the fans more, a new style of racing, a new star on the rise. That would be you. A reason for them to keep watching instead of drifting away. Changing it up keeps things fresh. Just doing the same old leads one way, straight downhill. Me? I'd rather see how high we can climb. Clarence doesn't want to fix what he thinks isn't broken. Racing's worked just fine for him as it is. He thinks we're chasing what's trendy when we should be sticking to the classics. He might have a point, but just sticking to the classics is what gets you tuned out. Tradition has value, but it can't be your whole playlist. Who we are isn't who we're going to be. We are coming from a place of pride. Where we're going is an unknown future. The only thing that's certain is this. We'll blaze our own trail instead of following someone else's. And everyone who says that we can't, well, they can just get out of our way.
Hey, here's your chance.
Get our new hotshot driver with a promising career dominate off-road racing on his way to the top.
And I said, kiss your baby goodbye. Oh, no, it's alright. Heaven knows they wanna break you apart. Yeah. Kiss your baby goodbye. Oh, no, it's alright. You never know unless you give it a try. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's a skid. Oh, and there's a wreck. The cars are piling up. Our champion swerves around it brilliantly. Now that's the skill that wins no matter what the engine, no matter what